there are some gems, at least we expect there to be. Starts with Bryce Young, who won the Heisman at Alabama, throwing from nearly 5,000 yards this past year. Ohio State's C.J. Stroud, also eligible next year, and he threw for very similar numbers that Young did. And other notables include Wake Forest's Sam Hartman and former Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler. Now it's South Carolina. Now, we haven't even gotten through this year's draft, but there are already 5 teams that have multiple first-round picks in next year's draft in 2023. Teams like Houston and Seattle have openings at the position right now, whereas Detroit, Philadelphia, Miami could have openings depending on how this year goes for them. So, Tim, when you look ahead to next year's, and obviously some teams are because they're collecting picks, how does that draft class affect teams' perspective as they head into this year's draft?
Yeah, you know what, Dan? I actually think it's more about this year's draft class in terms of quarterbacks, being weak. I think it's hard to tell what next year's is going to look like. Yeah, obviously Bryce Young is a guy that, we expect to be good, but think about kind of the one-year wonders that we've seen before. So whether like Joe Burrow, for example, at this time, a year ago, or excuse me, a year out before his last year at LSU, no one was thinking that he was going to have the type of year that he had. Similar thing with Kenny Pickett. And then I think you look at other guys that their draft stock is high going into their final year of college, and then they fall apart. And so we've seen that. And so I think it's too hard to project out what, the crop next year will look like. I think this is more about, hey, we're not thrilled about the guys we are seeing now. And so we don't know who may be available, and we may have an issue at the position that we need to address a year from now. So I think it's really about the team's current situation at quarterback and who is available via the draft this season.
Yeah, a couple teams, as we mentioned, multiple first-round picks next season, sort of just in case they need to address that position. Extra first-round picks always help.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.